The New York Yankees are bringing back manager Aaron Boone, and people are pissed off. My name is Jake Asman. Welcome in to the Jake Asman Show. Today's video, we're talking about the Yankees' decision to bring back manager Aaron Boone, and of course, what the Yankees actually have to do this offseason if they are going to get back on top for the first time since 2009. That being said, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe by clicking the subscribe button on the right-hand side of the screen, and you'll get daily video content. A lot to cover here. Let's get right to it. Yankees bring back Boone on a 3-year deal. And let me say this. I'm not surprised at all. I'd be totally okay if the Yankees said, you know what? We need a clean slate. We're moving on. But the reality is that was never going to happen. Brian Cashman hired Aaron Boone after Joe Girardi took the team to Game 7 of the ALCS in 2017. Boone has not been to that point yet, so Brian Cashman then firing Boone would make Brian Cashman look bad. So bringing Aaron Boone back was always going to be something that I thought was going to happen. Now, not bringing back some of the coaching members of the staff, well, that to me is just more of, well, all right, we got to do something. We got to make somebody the sacrificial lamb. So see you later, Marcus Timms. See you later, Phil Nevin. When the reality is, I mean, those guys were basically the fall guy for this Yankees team, vastly underachieving. So the thing with Boone that I'm okay with is I don't think anything's going to change. If you fired Boone, you'd be bringing in somebody else that'd be just like Aaron Boone. My issue with the Yankees right now is the fact is they act as if they've accomplished a whole lot when in reality they have done nothing. When in reality they were a wild card team this past year. They struggled in the 60-game season. The last time the Yankees truly had a great team was 2019. And even that 2019 team was flawed as far as the inability to get the big hit with men on base. So ultimately, they've kind of been treading water here. And now they've regressed the last 2 seasons. And the Yankees need to look themselves in the face and realize they have a huge problem, right? This is not something that could just be fixed with 1 or 2 moves. Fundamentally speaking, this lineup needs a roster overhaul. It starts with shortstop, catcher, center field, first base. I mean, you look at the Yankees right now and ask yourself this very question. How many guys on the Yankees would start for a team like the Boston Red Sox? There's Aaron Judge, maybe Giancarlo Stanton, and Gleyber Torres, maybe. I mean, the reality is the Yankees pitching, for the most part, was pretty good this year. The bullpen had some issues. They did have some issues throughout the course of the year with the starting rotation, but for the most part, the Yankees figured it out, and the pitching kept them in games. They were 19th in runs scored. They regressed to the absolute mean. The Yankees need to overhaul this lineup if they want any chance of actually winning a title. Cashman even conceded that the 92-win Yankees this year, it did not feel like a team like previous ones that could go out there and win a championship. This was not a championship caliber team. They were too right-handed. They were too station to station. They lacked athleticism. They lacked contact. They need to overhaul this offense. You know, I'm all about using analytics, but that can't be the only thing that determines whether or not you bring in a player. Analytics love Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo does not belong on the New York Yankees in 2022. He just doesn't. You need to get guys that put the ball in play, that complement your star players. Your 2 stars in this lineup are Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. You need guys that complement those players. It is time for the Yankees to overhaul this lineup. They managed to solve the bullpen throughout the course of the year. I'm not worried about that. The rotation, getting Severino back, having Garrett Cole still at the top of it, I'm not necessarily worried about that. I don't think that's a weakness. Now, you can always improve it, but this, to me, this offseason is all about what the Yankees will do to try and fix this lineup, what they will do to try and fix an offense that at times was just lifeless. They cannot be as streaky as they've been. Even in the 60-game season, they weren't great. So now there's like a 1.5-year sample size of these young players regressing. What has to be asked here is, why are these players regressing? Why are, the Gary Sanchez's and Gleyber Torres and Miguel Andujar and Clint Frazier? I can keep going. Why are these guys not getting better? Why does it feel like they hit their peak? Is that an Aaron Boone problem? I don't know. Is it a Brian Cashman problem? I don't know. What's wrong with the Yankees coaching, development, front office that their young players aren't still ascending to the level of which they need to ascend? Those are questions that I have about this Yankees team, and specifically with Brian Cashman here. I mean, look, he acknowledged that they need more athleticism, and he acknowledged that they need more contact, but these were concerns for the Yankees going into the season. So where's the disconnect that they went into the year with this team? Now, he tried to fix it at the trade deadline by bringing in Rizzo, left-handed, Gallo, left-handed, but it's too little too late. The Yankees' disastrous start was a big reason why they had to go to Fenway Park for this wild card game. Now, the key thing to remember here is the Yankees and the Red Sox had the exact same record, but Boston obviously is red hot, and here they are 2 wins away from the World Series. So it's not impossible to expect the Yankees to go out there this offseason and overhaul this lineup, overhaul this roster, and improve this team. You're not asking for anything that is, impossible to get done. I just hope the Yankees look themselves in the mirror here. Brian Cashman looks himself in the mirror and says, you know what? I did a bad job. I need to change our organizational philosophy in how we bring in players. I need to look long and hard about the type of player that we bring in. I mean, look, the reality is this season was as bad for a Yankee fan as any in recent years. Yeah, they made the playoffs. Yeah, they won 92 games. But a perfect example of the Yankees this year is they win 13 games in a row, only to then go 2-11 following the massive winning streak, right? I mean, we went from thinking, wow, the division's in reach to, are the Yankees even going to make the playoffs with the way they played down the stretch? The Jekyll and Hyde nature of this team is due to the fact that offensively speaking, they're too inconsistent. They need guys that put the ball in play, put the ball in the air. Specifically, how many times are the Yankees going to hit into freaking double plays that kill rallies? It cannot happen. So it starts by fixing the shortstop position. It starts by fixing this outfield. I don't think you could bring Gallo back. I don't want to rely on Aaron Hicks in center field. I mean, Brian Cashman's got to be really creative here. If it means trading a guy like Gleyber Torres, I would do it. I'd be open to that. DJ LeMahieu could slot back in and play second base. Right now, he's a guy without a true position. I don't think you want DJ LeMahieu at third base. You still have Urshela. You obviously need to fix shortstop. First base is a question mark with Rizzo. You need to get more left-handed bats in this lineup, and you need to get more contact hitters. And there has to be more of an emphasis on running the bases, playing defense. I mean, the Yankees made 22 outs at home this year. It just cannot happen. I know some of it's because they run on contact when they have a runner on third, but come on, give me a break. This team has been just an absolute disaster, and they need to go out there and fix the obvious issues that this team has. They're obvious to us fans, but I just wonder if the Yankees truly feel that way. And now let me get to Hal Steinbrenner here for a moment. Hal Steinbrenner has to be willing to spend money. If you're going to bring back Aaron Boone, you better go and get him better players then, because I don't put it all on Boone, but I would have been fine if they moved on from Aaron Boone. I can't sit here and defend the guy. They haven't won. He's had 4 years. The goal is to win a championship. They haven't even been to the World Series since 2009. You fired Joe Girardi after Game 7 of the ALCS in a year the Yankees weren't supposed to get that far. You bring in Boone, and the team hasn't gotten to where they need to get to. So I'd be fine either way. They moved on from Boone. That being said, you need to, if you're Hal Steinbrenner now, go out there and be willing to spend some money. The Yankees' payroll this year is the same number that it was in 2005. That's $205 million. So you have the same payroll number that you had 16 years ago. I'm not saying you go out there and you buy everybody, but the Yankees need a shortstop. Corey Seager's out there. Carlos Correa's out there. Those guys make sense. You know, if it means making a trade to get guys in to overhaul this team, you got to do it. I never want to hear about luxury tax with this Yankees team again. It's enough. Go out there and be the Yankees. The Dodgers are the Dodgers. They play to their strengths. They got a lot of money. The Yankees need to play to their strengths. They got a lot of money. Spend some of it on the right type of player. So contact hitters, more athleticism. I mean, none of this station-to-station crap. We can't watch it. It's not working. This team has regressed. And if they do not make significant changes to their lineup, this is a fourth-place team in their own division. Boston's better than them, Tampa's better than them, and Toronto will be better than them if they do not go out there and make meaningful organizational change to this team. Brian Cashman's not going anywhere, right? Aaron Boone's not going anywhere. All right, well, If Hal Steinbrenner is investing in those guys and believes in those guys, then they sure as hell better go out there and do what is right to fix this team. Add a shortstop, fix the outfield situation. I don't think you could bring back Gary Sanchez. I'm tired of the charade of, oh, his defense, it's getting better, and oh, well, he still hits. It's enough. If pitchers don't want to throw to him, if you can't play Gary Sanchez in a win or go home game, shouldn't that tell you it's time to move on? It's not all Sanchez's fault. He's not as bad, I think, as some people portray him to be, but I think it's just time to move on. He represented, an era here of Yankee baseball that has been disappointing. When the Yankees went to Game 7 of the ALCS in 2017, did you think 5 years later they wouldn't even have been to the World Series? I mean, come on. Something has to be done. A message needs to be sent to this lineup. You got the good bullpen, right? The Yankee bullpen's still very good. You obviously have some key guys in this rotation. You'll get Severino back this year. You could certainly use another starter. But this offseason, if you're a Yankee fan, is about one thing and one thing only in my mind. How can the Yankees overhaul this lineup that was 19th in runs scored? 19th. Just not good enough. They have to start there if they're serious about trying to win a championship in 2022. With that being said, I want to thank all of you who watched this video. My name is Jake Asman. This is the Jake Asman Show. If you like the content, please do me a favor and subscribe on the right-hand side of the screen. Hit that button. I guess it's right over there. And please do me a favor, subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake Asman. Comment your thoughts afterwards. What do you want to see the Yankees do this offseason? Thanks so much to everyone who took time to watch. And I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.